Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi, how are you?
Well, second day into lockdown.
We've got lockdown from Saturday morning.
What's lockdown for you?
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it? We can't go out the house unless we've got a reason, one of 5 reasons, and you've got to carry paper or a message or something to say, you know, you've been allowed to go out for this particular reason.
I find it very difficult being apart from you, darling, because it's over a year now we've seen each other.
I know.
We can't fly to see you. We haven't seen Johnny. We haven't seen Nisha, Matt. It's hard.
Every time I go in the sea, I think of you. And we only stopped swimming. I think it was last week. The girls stopped swimming. Yeah. Doing
this program has allowed me to remember all of the different food that Daddy used to cook. And if I get without tearing up, because you told me that you thought we should cook an egg curry.
Yeah.
I swear, Johnny, day before my birthday, I was scouting around, and David will tell you, I found a letter, his 80th birthday party, thanking me, and George, I don't know what happened to poor old Justin, about doing the food and doing all this sort of stuff for him. And it fell out, and I was crying, of course, you know, because it's been almost 20 years since he's been dead. And when I unfolded it, Johnny, there was his egg curry recipe. And egg curry, and it wasn't even in a recipe book. It was just one sheet. So I'm going to photocopy that, and I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to follow that religiously. Yeah, you look after yourself, and much.
You too, darling. You too. Love you. Bye. I have 200 grams of raw rice, which I'm going to make into ground rice by just blending it in a NutriBullet. So I've ground it several times actually, and this is the sort of texture we're looking for. It's pretty fine, but it's not complete powder. I'm going to sift that ground rice into a bowl. I've got 200 grams of rice flour. I shall put in a little bit of salt. So I've got some warm water there, not too hot because we don't want to kill the yeast, and some white sugar. And I'm just going to put the yeast on top of it, give it a stir, and then I'm going to leave it for 10 or 15 minutes to make sure that this yeast is actually active. So this is how the yeast should look when it's active. You can see how it's frothed and doubled in size. We've just got to add that to the flour mix that we've got here, and then we're going to add some coconut milk. And all we're doing really is to try and get this mix going tonight so that it can ferment and rise overnight, so our hoppers will be lovely and crispy. Give it a whisk like this. It's a little bit thin at the moment. It needs to be a bit thicker than that, but you'll see overnight that it'll get very much thicker, and we'll have to thin it down a bit. That mixture that I made last night. Can you see it? It's not floppy. It's always quite dangerous making hoppers because you never know 100% it's going to work out or not. This hopper pan, which is maybe almost 100 years old, belonged to my father. Every time I use it, I think of him. And we need to get it hot, but not too hot, because if it's very hot, the batter will just come off the sides prematurely and just start falling down before they get crispy. So that's pretty hot. We're going to put a ladle full You don't want too much, because I like more of the outside than I do the inside actually. You swirl it around and you see that the residue has gone into the bottom and you've got a nice thin cover at the sides. And then we cover it. That is lovely.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's a great one. Okay, Matt, you got the idea?
There won't be one more time, so we're gonna do this tonight.
You can teach anybody.
Yeah, he's doing really
Good.
He's doing all those
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like,
People, I'm not able.
no, but like the French are always like, it's kind of like the opposite, the utter opposite cuisine-wise of everything that's Sri Lankan.
I've still got people who ring up, and the kids now. I'm thrilled. Sam went off to university, and he uses our cookery recipes.
Yeah.
And in
I
great
know.
support. Guess what? They really work. And I thought, well, thank you very much, dear.
I know my friends, I've got a lovely friend in England and she's the same, you know, she tries the recipes and she's always sending me pictures of it. And she said, we have a Chandra and Rani night and all the recipes I've tried so far work really well.
Look what I've got. Can you see?
That looks really good, actually. What are the things on top of the rice? Because that I can see that's Kiri Bath, yeah? Milk rice.
Rice, yeah. And do you know what? I never used to like it, Charlie. Look, I put a cashew nut on some of them, and I put a sultana on others. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put some dates in because I couldn't get out to the shop because we're locked in to get bananas. So they're just dates. And just because I love them and I'm going to carry them, I put some prawns on as well. You know, this is what we ate every time, didn't we? For Sri Lankan Christmases and New Year's.
New Year's Day, absolutely impossible not to have it. Yeah.
This actually, one little portion of that will fill you up right up. So this morning I made an omelette and had one of those and had a little bit leftover curry and coconut sambol, and it was delicious. Hello, today I'm going to do one of our very, very special dishes, which is Kiri Bath, which means milk rice. And this is a very special dish for Sri Lankans because we use it all the time on great celebrations. You might hear a lot of popping going on in the background. It's the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, massive day for UK citizens when gunpowder, treason and plot. Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. For us, it's the start of another lockdown. So some people have been a bit sneaky out there, letting off fireworks, but you know what? We're back now into lockdown until, I think it's the 2nd of December. So we've got to cheer ourselves up and we're going to have a celebration. Coconut milk, it's short grain arborio rice, which you make risotto with. We want something that's going to be a bit sticky, and basmati is too thin and too gentle, and it also has a distinctive flavour. I'm going to wash this rice just once. We don't want all the starch to come out, and measure it this time. One of these and about 2 to 3 cups of rice and milk. What's the word for it? Mixed up like me. This is what I call a rolling boil. Can you hear? There's still a bit of liquid there. And it's hissing away, so that's enough. It's just my little tray, which is not too deep, and I put spoil in it. You can do it with your hands if you want to have one layer of epidermis removed. I prefer to do it with a spoon and make it as tight as possible. And you see what I've done over here? I pressed in while it was still warm cashew nut, row of cashew nuts, a row of sultanas. I'm going to cut it into little squares, place it on here. There you have it. Coconut sambol in here, a few dates, the jaggery, which is the palm sugar, and our lovely little Kiri Bath. All that we need now is an appetite and a bit of curry, and you're made. Enjoy our Sri Lankan speciality. Bye bye.
I'm rolling.
I'm rolling.
Silence on set, please.
You have to say there's TV,
Yeah.
a debate on TV.
Take 3.
Take 3. Okay, let's go. We're rolling.
Right. So today, Matt, we're going to make Sini Sambol, which is an onion sambol, right, with sugar in it. Sini means sugar.
Okay.
So as I said to you before, we've got no free lunches here, so you start chopping the onions. All we want is really thin slices like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's start with these. These are dried shrimp. Now in Sri Lanka we would use moldy fish as well, which is like a dried bonita tuna. We've got curry leaves here, chili, let me turn around, that's cinnamon, some clove. This is cardamom seeds. I've taken the pods, we got rid of the pods, and we're just going to use the seeds. A little bit of salt, a bit more of the sugar, and this is a lime. I've taken the zest from it, and we're going to use the juice as well. He's a king of the one-liners, don't you think?
What did you say, Matt?
He said,
I said, yeah, I'm crying. It's not the onion, it's a recipe. Her recipe is moving me.
I'm going to get a pan ready, and we're just going to put a little bit of oil in it to start these off. So just a little bit of oil. My trusty old spoon, look at that, it's years old. Look at the state of it. But you know, I love it, it's just perfect.
Better than the plastic one.
Yeah. We don't talk about that one. Now you have to fast forward this because it's going to take a while, isn't it, to cook this? Deliberate mistake number one was the curry leaves should actually be cooked first. Yes, because in the oil they got nice and crispy, but it's no big thing, it'll still work. So I put the curry leaves in first, let them cook a little bit. The texture of these onions is lovely now, can you see that? And now we're just going to empty the rest of the ingredients in. So let's do the dried shrimp. Right. Chili powder. I know that if Rani was here with me, she'd be saying, faster, faster, faster. That's why I'm trying to speed up a bit. Okay, give it all a good mix. What we're trying to do is to get this lovely caramelized onion without the liquid. If we can get rid of the liquid, it lasts longer. And now we're going to add, you've got a special way of doing this, haven't you?
Me?
Getting this.
No, I don't think so.
With the fork? No?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it? Yeah?
Yeah, but that's not my way.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's Nisha's way,
Nisha's
actually.
way, all right.
Nisha, but she doesn't want to be in, so yeah,
No.
that's my way.
This has to be salt, sweet, hot, and sour all together, all at one time. But possibly sweeter than anything else because it's called Sini Sambol. This is what it's supposed to look like. Lovely.
Might be too hot for you guys, but to me.
Coconut sambal. I'm going to have a taste. Just to make sure it's as yummy as I think it is. Well, I know it is because I made it.
Oh, I tell you, that's superb. Put some in. I was just going to be modest.
Is this on camera?
Of course it is, everything is.
Well, I just told the stories about my dad, which is dodgy.
I also need you to cut out the bit that when I was talking about the Seven Royal Family, if you
Yeah.
would just make, we'll just have to check that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.